evening chanting.
Yeah.
To the Blessed One, the Lord, who fully attained perfect enlightenment, to the teaching which he expounded so well, and to the Blessed One disciples who have practiced well, to these the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, we render with offerings our rightful homage. It is well for us that the Blessed One, having attained liberation, still had compassion for later generations. May these simple offerings be accepted for our long-lasting benefit and for the happiness it gives us. The Lord, the perfectly enlightened and blessed One, I render homage to the Buddha, the blessed One.
Bow.
The teaching so completely explained by him, I bow to the Dhamma. The Blessed One disciples who have practiced well, I bow to the Sangha.
Now let us pay preliminary homage to the Buddha.
Homage to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Homage to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Homage to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One.
Now let us chant the recollection of the Buddha.
A good word of the Blessed One's reputation has spread as follows. Such indeed is the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the perfectly enlightened One, endowed with wisdom and virtues, the accomplished One, the knower of the worlds, the incomparable Master, or guide of those to be trained, teacher of gods and men, the enlightened One, the Blessed One.
Now let us chant the supreme praise of the Buddha.
The Buddha, the truly worthy One, endowed with such excellent qualities, whose being is composed of purity, transcendental wisdom and compassion, who has enlightened the wise, like the sun awakening the lotus. I bow my head to that peaceful chief of conquerors, the Buddha, who is the safe, secure refuge of all beings. As the first object of recollection, I venerate him with bowed head. I am indeed the Buddha's servant. The Buddha is my Lord and guide. The Buddha is sorrow's destroyer, who bestows blessings on me. To the Buddha I dedicate this body and life, and in devotion I will walk the Buddha's path of awakening. For me there is no other refuge. The Buddha is my excellent refuge. By the utterance of this truth, may I grow in the Master's way. By my devotion to the Buddha and the blessings of this practice, by its power, May all obstacles be overcome
by body, speech, or mind.
For whatever wrong action I have committed towards the Buddha, may my acknowledgement of fault be accepted, that in the future there may be restraint regarding the Buddha.
Now let us chant in praise of the Dhamma.
Well expounded is the Dhamma of the Blessed One, can be realized in the here and the now, beyond time, beyond thought, inviting investigation, onward leading to the heart, Nibbana, can be understood by the wise each for themselves.
Now let us chant the supreme praise of the Dhamma.
It is excellent because it is well expounded, and it can be divided into path and fruit, practice and liberation. The Dhamma holds those who uphold it from falling into delusion. I revere the excellent teaching, that which removes darkness, the Dhamma, which is the supreme secure refuge of all beings. As the second object of recollection, I venerate it with bowed head. I am indeed the Dhamma servant. The Dhamma is my Lord and guide. The Dhamma is sorrow's destroyer, and it bestows blessings on me. To the Dhamma I dedicate this body and life, and in devotion I will walk this excellent way of truth. For me there is no other refuge. The Dhamma is my excellent refuge. By the utterance of this truth, may I grow in the Master's way. By my devotion to the Dhamma and the blessings of this practice, by its power, may all obstacles be overcome. By body, speech, or mind, for whatever wrong action I have committed towards the Dhamma, may my acknowledgement of fault be accepted, that in the future there may be restraint regarding the Dhamma.
Now let us chant the recollection of the Sangha.
Of good conduct is the order of the disciples of the Blessed One. Of upright conduct is the order of the disciples of the Blessed One. Of wise conduct is the order of the disciples of the Blessed One. Of dutiful conduct is the order of the disciples of the Blessed One. This order of the Blessed One disciples, namely the 4 pairs of persons, the 8 types of individuals, is worthy of offerings, is worthy of hospitality, is worthy of gifts, is worthy of reverential salutation, is an incomparable field of merits to the world.
Now let us chant the supreme praise of the Sangha.
Born of the Dhamma, that Sangha which has practiced well, the field of the Sangha, formed of 8 kinds of noble beings, guided in body and mind by excellent morality and virtues. I revere that assembly of noble beings, perfected in purity, the Sangha, which is the supreme secure refuge of all beings. As the third object of recollection, I venerate it with bowed head. I am indeed the Sangha servant. The Sangha is my Lord and guide. The Sangha is sorrow's destroyer, and it bestows blessings on me. To the Sangha I dedicate this body and life, and in devotion I will walk the well-practiced way of the Sangha. For me, there is no other refuge. The Sangha is my excellent refuge. By the utterance of this truth, may I grow in the Master's way. By my devotion to the Sangha and the blessings of this practice, by its power, may all obstacles be overcome. By body, speech, or mind, for whatever wrong action I have committed towards the Sangha, may my acknowledgement of fault be accepted, that in the future there may be restraint regarding the Sangha.
Okay, we'll do the closing homage in Pali. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Okay, you all can be seated. After this, you're supposed to have your 30 minutes of formal sitting and walking or lying down meditation. So, we are off the light so that you can have your half an hour of meditation. You all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Always remember, maintain awareness, develop mindfulness on whatever that arises. Just perceive, aware. Then you need to learn, then listen. When you listen without interference from your brain and memory, means that is the direct listening, pure listening. Understand? You listen from your heart. And the other thing about the Dhamma, which is very unique, is if it's spoken by a being that has the understanding, the voice that come out, the vibration is different. Because this thing, no need word one actually. So that wisdom energy, if you listen from the heart, don't try to know, don't try to do, just listen. It will go in on. But before you have the awareness nature, please don't do that. Do that, no use on it. It cannot go in. So that time you have to listen. Listen attentively. Listen, perceive, understand. Never mind. Well, these are not psychological memory. So you can actually learn it. But the only problem is you yourself don't have the awareness nature. You have to learn it very slowly. You have to understand it through your normal mind. I won't call it completely mundane mind, because over the years you might have developed some more understanding, like the scientists. But scientists is all very mathematical one, theoretical one. They got nothing to do with Dhamma. But at least now what you are learning, like just now, difference between awareness and consciousness. Once you know that, then it's easy. Like Soo Yee went through that impact of the sense data, the vibration. No word on, no perception. But at that moment, don't be excited or panic. Most people would have perceived. Then she realized it's so different now. That thing came in is with such clarity and impact one. No? Yeah. Yeah, that's Soo Yee explain.
Yeah, I would like to report meditation for now.
Good.
It became clearer this time when I lie
Sadhu.
down. It is. This time I didn't feel the whole temple. It was like, a heartbeat, but it wasn't the heartbeat.
Oh,
it was
sadhu.
pulsing.
Yeah.
Like a momentum one, no?
Correct. you know why? There is your life force inside the movement.
But it's not like the normal heartbeat.
Correct.
I feel
correct.
it's very round and dense, and it's
Yeah.
very powerful.
Yeah. Sadhu.
First time.
No, means that nature is trying to move from inside out already. So your awareness has started to, because you need understanding to go in on. That's why that explanation of what is awareness and consciousness help you. Because when you know that the awareness is before the knowing, before the perception, that's why now you can let it be. Then you can just let it move. That's why you can detect that one. The normal people one is the mind become very quiet, silent. Silent already, only they can detect the heartbeat or the vibration. Yours is because in the past you have them, but it hasn't come out because you are not ready. So now it's slowly coming out.
But it comes and goes because
Definitely
I
not
perceive
stable.
then it's gone already.
Not stable yet. Because once you curious or want to know, gone. So just like you are dead, let it happen. You transform very fast. Good signs, sadhu, rejoice, sadhu. That's why after you start to understand, you become different. Then when you do, with the understanding you do, so different of the result. Otherwise you cannot see the result. Because you go back to your old way very fast. Very good, sadhu.
Amitofo, Brother Teo, and Mrs. Teo, and all Kayamitas. Brother Teo, just now you mentioned about art of listening, right? Okay, I want to report my meditation about this. When we arrived here on the first day, 24th of August, right? So after lunch, we came up to to this shrine hall for our start of retreat. So as I came into this hall, right, my awareness appeared,
sadhu.
It appears, and then the stillness, I aware of the stillness, right? The stillness and the, how you call that, the peacefulness of this shrine hall. Then after which Brother Teo started the sharing, right, on the retreat purpose and the intent. So all of us seated down. I was seated down here as well. And what happened was the vibration of Brother Teo's voice, right? Went into my heart, activated my heart.
Sadhu.
So activated my heart, right? So it's just the heart activated and pulsating all the time, right? So it stabilized, for a while. Brother Teo thought stabilized, and then it shift, it transformed, it transformed into a luminous, bright. In the heart.
I know.
Yes.
Your awareness can be aware of the phenomena that arise.
Yeah. So in the heart, it's a luminous bright, and then it's spacious and spacious and spacious, So as Brother Teo keep talking, right? So it remains in that. But before that, before this happened, right? As Brother Teo talk, right? The heart activated, right? Then the whole body, very soft and relaxed.
Sadhu.
Very soft and relaxed. And then after that, the shift happened. And then from the heart, it become luminous, bright. Okay, and then it just stay there and luminous and luminous. Keep on that way, until. I mean, the thing is about this, Brother Teo, my understanding is when it's a kind of, how you call that, the force support that Brother Teo talk, trust nature to do its meditation.
Just let it receive.
Yes.
Then you just relax into it. The more you relax into it, the stronger you will go in.
Yes, correct, exactly. So I'm coming to that. So as you relax into it because the whole body is so relaxed,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So it becomes like bigger and bigger
Yeah,
and bigger,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
bigger, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's very soothing and nice
Yes,
and
yes.
tranquil and still, you know,
Sadhu,
the kind of feeling that you
Yeah,
have,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
in here, you know. And then because it's a trust, you know,
Yeah.
okay, how you cannot decide when to
Yeah,
come
yeah,
out.
yeah,
You
yeah.
cannot decide when to come out.
That thing will move itself.
Yeah, it moves by
then
itself.
it will draw itself, it will absorb itself.
Correct, correct. So, uh, because this is the first time it happened this way, so Brother Teo. So it just happened, right? Then after that, it just go away by itself, you know.
Sadhu.
Go away by itself. Okay. Then after that, right, I heard Brother Teo talking again, you know. Yeah. So the voice come back, the voice come back, you know. This thing kind of vanish away, and then after that, right, the second part of it is, because Brother Teo was still talking, right. So for whatever reason, I have to stand up, you know, Brother Teo. I have to stand up, and then I start walking, right. And then as I start walking, right, wow, the sati, the mind
very,
sati,
very clear.
Yes, very clear. And the funny thing about it is, this is the first time the walking this way, the pulsation from the heart went into my leg, you know. Went into my leg, then this leg, like a lot of pulse, you know. A lot of pulse, you know, very tinkling.
That's why I say it will activate whatever it need to activate. This pure energy will go in on, then it will transform. Well, it go through your gateway, then it will transform. Then it will do its work on. You don't interfere.
Yeah. It automatically, all naturally by itself, and it's like the trust, like it just do by itself whatever it needs to do.
The other thing that can happen is, you will sometimes feel like you must lie down.
Yeah, this case, I must stand up, you know.
I know your case is you must stand up. That's why I said the other thing you must watch out is, you will feel that it will tell you sleep, lie down.
Correct. That happened another time previously. But this time, is after that, I must start to walk, you know. So
you know why? You need to go to your leg.
Yeah. So after I stand up and walk, right, I feel that, the pulsation dropped. And all the pulse of life arise.
Because that vibration is pure energy. Is intelligent. It already had the wisdom. And it know what to do on. It know what to activate and what to develop that is needed by the individual cultivator. So this type of when you receive this type of thing, is called the mind-to-mind seal. Understand? Mind-to-mind means during the patriarch time, when the first patriarch of China, you think he transmit to second patriarch, then second patriarch transmit to third, fourth, fifth. You think they transmit using electric energy? No, that's how. Mind to mind. You always hear this word. So what is mind to mind? Very good. It's not mundane mind to mundane mind. No. Mundane mind to mundane mind, you send thought, no. Hatred, sometimes metta. That one is mundane mind. That one is not the real mind. This mind to mind, I told you already, the direct seeing, no word, no language. This one, when it's transmitted, you must be ready. You must detect the gateway, you must have the awareness nature. Then only you can tap, you can draw, you can receive. How much you draw depends on your cultivation. Understand? I used to joke with the Kayamita. If you want to receive something, you need at least a container or a cup inside. If you still don't have cup, then how you receive? Your two hands open like that. A lot of holes are there. Cannot stay because all these are holes. So you use hand, very difficult to receive. But sometimes you can still receive because you close a hole. Understand? You know how to close a hole. But most people don't know how to close a hole. Heedlessly lost in thought. Understand? Non-stop thinking. So when you non-stop thinking, this hole is wide open. But when you close, you calm, you peaceful. Although you have not detected the nature, but at least you are calm. It's just like those develop the second turning on. You remember? Contemplative one? When in a tranquil setting, then they are in that state of calm, then they can receive. Understand? But that type of, you receive one is talent. Understand or not? Your talent with regards to music or poem or whatever, well, it still involves the mundane mind's, you call it what? The product of mundane mind creating it out. It's not the very deep type of transformation to your nature. But this one, second turning, like what I explained to you, it stabilize your understanding or not. Understand or not? As you contemplate, reflect, it stabilize. If it's stabilized, you can assimilate in. Understand or not? You already have the initial wisdom. Yoniso manasika, born of hearing. Then reflect, contemplation. Then this one, that's why I call it the initial wisdom, stabilized. Understand or not? Then what happens is, when you have this, you are ready to receive further truth. So next time when you are in the same type of environment where you can contemplate and reflect, you will do better already, understand? Because you've been through before, like Su Tong Po, they all, because they have detected or received that type of talent before. And when they go there, they know what to do. And they like that setting and all things. So you will develop that ability to be more calm, more peaceful. Then when you have the faith, the spiritual faculty is there, then this thing allow you to understand spiritual teaching as well. Then like Soo Yee, she will move into awareness by herself when she have the understanding. That's why earlier on, before she come, I already predicted to her, I say, when your awareness come, you will move very fast. So that time she cannot quite understand, because the thought try to understand. So this time, after I explain awareness and all this, hey, lie down and try. See? Got it already. Understand? But not stable yet, but good enough, because it activated the whatever that she need to activate. Then this one can receive already now. All my vibration or what, if he don't try to use the thought too much, sometimes just silent, just listen from here. Move your attention to here. Initially, you always listen from here. Move to here. Move to here, initially, don't worry. It's like not connected one. Bits and pieces. Because when you are here, you are not here. Your brain and memory cannot retrieve information fast to understand. No? But don't worry. You stay here, the vibration will go in. Then after a while, you realize, you listen from the heart is the same as you listen from the brain. Because this one have the additional wisdom and the understanding. Then that time, like, no more gap already, What you listen when you are here, you also listen from here, So which is better? Definitely here, understand? You are here, the vibration, if it's really from the cultivator of the way that has that nature, that vibration is pure energy, understand? That's why this vibration will go in. That's why they can detect, and quite a number of Kayamita can detect. And without you knowing, this nature inside there is ever radiating for the cultivator of the way. Always remember that. Ever radiating for the cultivator of the way. It never discriminates. You have the ability to draw, you draw. And you know what happens? When you draw, doesn't get dissipated on. Doesn't become less on. Not like reservoir. Full, draw, empty. This one cannot go empty on. And the funny thing about it, the more you draw, the more powerful it is. That's why sometimes I travel or I move, I realize there are some beings around. Sometimes in the plane also same, then I know they are drawing. So I let it be. When I went to Laos, Vientiane, wow, the relics energy there is supposed to be one of the temples, Sakyamuni Buddha's relics, the green Czech Buddha temple. Then there is a very big stupa there, I think, like Burma one, golden type one, a very big one. Most tourists go there, sure visit there. Oh, that one also, a lot of this pure energy vibration. So in the early day, I took them for spiritual trip. I think the first 2 trips to Thailand, organized by Cindy and the husband, he brought us there. Long Prabang. And also we went to Vientiane. Because Cindy's husband, when he was like novice, initially he got problem, no? Because I think he didn't know the Dhamma. Then he got involved in some like breaking the precept thing. Then finally decide to become a monk, but not that full-fledged monk. It's like 10 preceptor, where. Then he followed the monk. He go to all the temple. That's why Thailand, around the area, northwest, Chiang Mai area, and the place they stay. What is the place they stay already? I forgot it. It's around the area. And there are a lot of monks practicing around the area. There is one Ajahn Ben, no? You remember early morning we arrived there one? No, that one is Surat Thani, Ajahn Entra's place. This one is Cindy's house, the tree house. What is his? There is a name one, small place. It's a very small place. That monk is very good. In the morning, we were there early, That's why I also sense, how come the nature there so tranquil, so still, It's just like just our posting report. First day after the lunch came out, he can sense the tranquility, the stillness. And you remember, I think Kong Chai and BF and Michael, when I was showing you all around, then I say, you just silence your mind. You remember looking at the main temple shrine. You can feel the stillness, the tranquility, because the nature's energy here very good. Yeah. He is Mahabharata, but that place name is what? It's a small town. I remember Cindy every time tell us, but never mind. So you know what happened? Ubon Thani is the big town where Ajahn Chah is. This one is a very small town. This one is like outskirts. But never mind. You see Cindy, you can ask her. She will know. It's her hometown. After she married to Mosi, he built a tree house. He sent 60,000 ringgit there. He saw the tree house. She cried for 2-3 days. We all 60,000 in Thailand last time is about 600,000 baht. Can buy proper house. But he purposely want to build a tree house over a stream. And we went there and stayed. Let me finish out the Ajahn Ben first. He at that time was a very famous monk. People know after Mahabowa, he is the one. So what happened when we were there? I realized how come that morning that nature so different and no rain very chill. We are northern Thailand, like our temperature here like that. But it's like during the morning. I think not so cold, but also quite cold. Because I didn't wear long john, the heat tech already, because that time don't have heat tech. So I just wear normal warm clothing, but okay. So what happened was, the Thai people, local people, was having pindapat for the monk. So they offer the food, So we all, that group, so big, one whole bus load, about 40 hours, 30 over to 40 hours. Then we gather outside there and wait. Then suddenly, I think before 7, this Ajahn Ben, he came out with his disciple. Then he saw. Then he asked, who are these people? Then the Mosi is a Thai. He said, from Malaysia. They travel to Thailand to visit all the good monks, special one. And you know what he said? No wonder. Last night she realized, in the morning, no wonder he said the weather like that. He knew, And it seemed this monk, you foreigner or what, not easy to meet him in person or not easy to go up to his personal kuti and all those things. After we did the Pindapat, we rejoiced. I think he can feel my energy or don't know what, or my nature. Then he was full of joy. Then after that, invited us all in. Until the villagers also surprised. Then when we went in, normally they don't let you take photo. He not only didn't stop or didn't restrict. We request to take photo here. Oh, he said, can. One whole group. And he was full of joy. And he spoke a lot that day. That's why they can sense if you are a true cultivator. And you know this type of beings around, their energy different. And you can detect. So whether you draw from them or they draw from you, it depends on their understanding. If they have higher understanding than me, then I can draw from them. Understand? But sometimes their understanding is the one that I need. Understand? The one that I happen to need. Like my last guy and all things. I just need that one. Understand? So when he showed me where the gateway is, I don't need him already. Understand? But more of the time is, I realize after I transform, after my mundane mind collapse, everywhere I go, it is the cultivator that draw my energy, my nature's energy. But this one very good. The more people draw, the stronger it becomes. And sometimes when I share Dhamma, where it comes from here, wow, this one, a lot of energy. Like now, my running now all okay already. You understand? Just now I was still using tissue paper, you realize that? This one is very deep. When this one come out, it really can give you that type of pure energy. And when it speaks, this vibration is different. Do you know why a lot of you all listen to the YouTube video? Well, my vibration is there, understand? You can also draw, but not similar to in person. In person near, very near. That's why when you travel with me spiritual trip, Kalyamita, I always say the collective consciousness is different. Because you all sleep, not sleep with me, sleep same hotel. Sleep at the same locality, walk around, travel. So that one give you the condition to draw. That's why your faith is very good. All the spiritual trip, you ask the Kayamita. Different one. Very, very. This year, this Cheng joined us. So different. And a lot of things happen. So, when we were at the Wutai San, the Zhong Tai and the Nan Tai, the weather, Soo Yee saw. Then I asked her to take photo. And the monk inside there was very good. He asked her to take photo. These are nature's phenomena, understand? Occurrences. When there are cultivators around, these are what the Buddha called, what is the name already? Nature's occurrences, you understand? Like birth of a great being, like when the Buddha is born. You read the sutta, the Mahayana one, not the Theravada. He said the whole world system, universe, all quack. You know what is quack or not? They rejoice and it like create vibration. Then Parinibbana also. The Deva or then the sky or a lot of sign. So these are called nature's occurrences. And they will manifest and they will arise. So if you have the cultivation, you can detect one. You can be sensitive. Soo Yee is back. The Wutai San one, the Zhong Tai and the Nan Tai. All the manifestation. Well, when you have this cultivation, that's why I say all these, if you are non-cultivator of the way, I mean the true one, you cannot understand one. Because you don't encounter, you don't experience as well. And it never happened to you. That's why to them, you didn't want to meet a Sotopan also very difficult. True or not? Then you know what happened? Like I used to tell Kayamita, but if you are in this line, this field, you won't believe it. You meet so many, and all great beings, and all fantastic. You cannot say, where can find, don't have one nowadays. And I ask you a question, social welfare, now it's 7 million the ticket, or 10 million, I don't know. Now 8 digit already, I was told. During 1979, it was only 7 digit. And first prize is 1 in 7 over million. 3 over million at that time. You think can people strike? Normal, ordinary people on the street can strike or not? You won't believe you thought they all 整手腳, they already have their people. But no, social welfare that time really can. Because my father-in-law strike. And he passed the ticket to me. I thought 4 digit at the back. Yeah, I checked. How come 7 digit? I said, fake one. He said, no, it's a real one. Got like that. And that time, I was about to marry my wife. We have all fixed already. But my father asked me, hey, you don't need to buy a house. I said, never mind, let it be. That fellow strike. The day I come down, I report for work 3 days later. I remember 9th of August 1979. On the 7th, they strike. Then after that, 1 month later, they paid the money, they bought the house, SS2. Also, I no need to buy a house. The house came. So, how you explain all this? And I really amazed. Small village, not in the city of PJ or KL or what, where the population there very small. But why strike? That is what nature occurrences is. When it's time for things to happen, it will happen. It will condition things to happen. And you can never understand. Then when you encounter all this being, that's why I told you 86 to 89, the teacher come, the guy come, the book come, everything come. Then all the great beings nature, this nature can actually draw. That's why when I first came here in 1984, 85, I think, that time was for a while only, as a student. Then after that, 89, the 5-day retreat, everything happened. So this is the reason why I say the nature's energy at here, Sampo Temple, is very, very good. Understand? So to have the condition to conduct retreat here, we should thank the temple committee. Understand? Oh, by the way, second last day, Tang Chia come, not the last day. So the program has to shift a bit. Not tomorrow, still got second last day, 29, Thursday. So in the afternoon, 2 o'clock onward, he said 2 to 2 something he will come, the abbot. Then normally that is the time we pay our respect. Then later we ask for forgiveness. Then we make our offering. And we thank him for allowing us to use this place, which is so conducive and all those things. Then Teng Siong Sifu also will be here. So that time, we finish early this year. So take photo, group photo with them. Normally they were together with us. Here take, then go to the shrine. There take. Then after that, you're free and easy. You can take whatever you want. Okay? So all this is to give you faith, to give you understanding. Then rejoice. Understand? When we thank the abbot, you better rejoice. Because you think this favorable setting and condition so easy to have. I was told by Padmasri the year before, they only allow our group during MCO. This year they allow 4 group only. But next year it seems the management want to go back to normal. They open to all. Then Tang Jia hinted to Padmasri. He said there are certain group that book for 5 years already, continuous. So he said, if you all want, you better book. So Pamasuri asked me, how many years? I said, I don't know. Then he said, can we book 3 years? Then I was thinking, why 3 years? 1 year, 1 year lah. But he said, no slot. So I said, okay lah, you want 3 years, 3 years lah. So watch out, we plan May. Next year, not this year. May 2025. We stuck there. Pamasuri said, sure, after visa. Don't worry. Okay? So this one is where you are here, got condition, we let you know first. Did I finish? Mind to mind. Oh, not yet. The best is when the nature asks you to go and sleep, asks you to go and lie down. At that time, lie down, don't even listen. Silent everything, stay here. The vibration will go in. And this one is mind to mind. And after you go in, you may not have heard what I say, but that wisdom, that understanding is 100% in already. Then later on, if this topic come out, you suddenly realize, how come I can understand this one? Although you didn't listen, your nature listened. That's why I asked Sui to move down to the heart. So you listen from the heart, you used to this hateful way of living. Where from awareness, you see, you hear, you listen, understand? And also you smell, you taste, everything is from here. So what is happening is you shifted your activity, all the mundane thinking, emotion, everything, down to your nature. But please, don't put it in the center. Center is hell. Why? Emotion there. It makes you very emotional. Understand? Small thing, you emotional. Well, this is the location of the physical body's heart where emotion manifests. Understand? You ask me why, I don't know. Well, this is created through nature. Understand? And the gateway also, you ask me why on the left, I also cannot tell you why. Well, nature is like that. If it's so direct, then easy to find. But I got a feeling, purposely one next to the hell. So most people cannot find, most people land here. And to touch that one, you need the pure mind, without thought. No. That's why I say stay at the heart. Don't do anything, let it decide. Let it detect. Because that nature can detect. Thought cannot detect. Thought always go there. Then sometimes when you have the intuitive understanding, like the conscience tell you, you know what you do? You don't believe. Because you haven't have any idea. Your brain cannot understand. Why like that? Why this type of feeling? And then you go to the brain. Maybe this one not suitable. Then you use memory, you use your condition and your limited understanding to actually discriminate on what really. Well, this one actually, the conscience is to protect you from doing wrong thing. Well, sometimes it tell you, this one cannot do. Understand? If you do, the conscience will say, you cannot do one. Sometimes you got guilty feeling on it. That is your conscience telling you. But the mundane mind, very egoic. He justify. Nobody know one. You take how, and sometimes he can even auto suggest to you and justify. Why you worry? Your wife not around, understand? Or your whoever that is trying to control you not around. So go ahead lah. So all these are the mundane mind tempting you. Love your conscience, understand? Your conscience is your actually you call what? 你的贵人protect you understand? Prevent you from doing wrong thing So stay with your conscience, understand? Whatever conscience tell you cannot do means don't do, understand? But you go here, this fellow very selfish, very cunning. Even you dare not do also, he will condition you. So easy money don't want. can scam, no. Work until like hell. You work until when? Cow come home, salary only how much? That's why they turn to do all those unscrupulous scamming and all those things. But you listen to hear. That's why when Krishnamurti say acting according to memory is not acting out, that is the meaning, understand or not? But he didn't explain in his book and teaching. So I explained already, Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So don't worry about not listening. But not for people who has not developed the thing, please. Otherwise you go and quote me, hey, Brother Teo said, no need to listen, no, stay at the heart, all go in. You go and try. Then don't come and complain to me. Understand or not? Most of the people are lying down asleep already, snoring. But if you can maintain awareness, you start to begin to change already, to transform already. Then when you can hear your own snoring, one sound or half a sound before like before the call finish, you already aware already. That is the progress. Means that very attention of that vibration, just like what Soo Yee detected from the bell. Without the perception, aware. Then of course after that you will know it's a snoring understand? But I can ask you now, how many of you can really hear your own snoring? You can, very good. All these people are very good. You can hear your own snoring means you have awareness inside. Most people cannot. Once they snore, they are unconscious or subconscious. Fakan mong. You understand? Dreaming already. And all this is what the physical anatomy of our physical body is all about. So without awareness, without that wisdom and understanding and sensitivity, you cannot know yourself. Self-knowledge is impossible. That's why this nature is the only unique thing that nature has come out with. And very few people can access this. Well, the moment you access this, you are the rare one, understand? Really, really rare one. You can live from here. So hopefully, today your condition, I explain it in more detail. Well, more people can understand already. Okay? Okay. Continue with the sharing. Otherwise, we won't end. Page 15.
Most of you act through what? Your views, opinion, knowledge, and memory, isn't it? That is the only instrument you know. But after you have understood the Dharma, the truth, you are supposed to have wisdom and Dharma understanding. That is why you must act according to Dharma understanding and wisdom, following the Dharma way. And that is true action. But how many of you can act that way? Hardly any, because most cultivators' first and second turnings wisdom, the initial wisdom, Uniso Manasikara, is not stable yet. It cannot come out and prompt them to act wisely. Instead, one straight away retrieve from memories and act based on what? Your fear, your phobia, your worries, your anxieties, your delusion, your selfishness, etc. Via your egoic mind, which is deluded and discriminative. You will start to see all this at the beginning of your cultivation. And when your stability of daily mindfulness comes to be, you will see all this more clearly. Then you will naturally start to straighten your views, to act according to wisdom, and you will not do all those foolish and deluded things anymore. Because all these doings bring about the wrong thoughts. And what are wrong thoughts? Thoughts that condition fear, worries, anxiety, sorrows, lamentations, insecurities, etc. And all these are sufferings. That's how wrong thoughts make you miserable. 3.3.1.5 Three types of right views. Reason why in the teachings the Buddha said, you must have right thoughts following the Noble Eightfold Path, born of right views. What are these right views? It is right understanding born of wisdom. Reason why you need to act according to right understanding and wisdom, leading to true action. which means you act following the Noble Eightfold Path. Starting with the right view and right understanding, you act, and there are three major areas of right views and right understanding. They are, number one, right understanding or right views with regards to the law of karma, karma niyama. That is how the advice of the Buddha comes about, how his teaching come about, and how the precepts he taught come about, and how the Noble Eightfold Path and the whole of his other teachings come about. Then the second right view is right view with regards to how you function as a human being, following the Paticca Samuppada, term Citta Niyama. The nature's order of mind, how the mind functions following the 12 links of the Paticca Samuppada teaching of the Buddha. And the third one is the right view with regards to the essential Dhamma, all of truth, and the Dhamma that Buddha teaches, which is termed Dhamma Niyama. So these three right views of Karma Niyama, Citta Niyama, and Dhamma Niyama are very powerful and very important right views or truths. These 6, 7, and 8 consciousness are nothing more than our 5 aggregates of form and mind. The moment the 6th consciousness arises, it is still pure perception, no discrimination yet. But the moment you act according to your views, opinions, and conditionings and belief system, then your egoic and discriminative mind surfaces. This is where all the problems start. This is where all the wrong thoughts, the discrimination and stirring of mind happen. These reactions and stirrings of mind arise because this one is still unenlightened, hence without wisdom. But the moment you are enlightened, even as a Sotapanna, you will have the right understanding. The first 3 factors of self-delusion, doubt, and attachment to rites and ritual are already severed. They already know that this form and mind is not real, not a permanent unchanging entity that you can cling on to, grasp onto, and hold on to as the me and the I. Because this ego, the egoic mind, has been attenuated until like it has the understanding that there is nobody inside there. It will then also understand anicca, dukkha, and anatta. That's why when you are a Sotapanna, first stage of sainthood, you are already safe. But there are still other factors that can affect them, because the Sotapanna still have sensual desire, ill will, and aversion, but not strong. The moment they realize Sakadagami, the second stage of sainthood, their sensual desire and aversion are attenuated with very little left. That is why the moment they become Anagami, the third stage of sainthood, sensual desires and ill will are completely rooted out. Then during that time, the 5 factors, the last 5 factors, they still must work on it until finally the last factor, avijja, ignorance, also gone. The last 5 factors are attachments to form and formless, jhana, mana, minor conceit, mana.
Pali word mana, not mana, the Malay one.
Okay.
Mana.
Mana, minor conceit, restlessness of mind, and avijja. The moment all these last 5 factors are rooted out, this discriminative mind no more, because it has awakened, and the 5 aggregates of form and mind will become pure aggregates, no more grasping or upadana, khanda. Do you know what pure aggregate is? Pure because it is non-grasping, no more egoic mind to grasp and cling at feelings, cling at what you perceive, and cling at mental activities or sankhara, mental states that are being conditioned into. Then, whatever you become conscious of through your 8 consciousness, you will not be deceived because of your awareness and wisdom. Then you will know how to act, and you will know how to input the pure content of consciousness. These are the 8 types of consciousness the Mahayana teaches. They are just the 5 aggregates of form and mind, nothing more. The 6th consciousness is Sanya aggregate. The 7th consciousness is the Sankara aggregate. The egoic mind, the discriminative mind, is basically Sankara, mental activities or mental concocting. This mental concoction is very active when you are heedless. Before you develop the ability to be aware and mindful, you cannot see all this because they act very fast. Split seconds, you really get angry, become emotional, and you want to hit out at others. 3.3.1.6 Importance of heedfulness. That is the reason why when the Buddha taught sati, he emphasized on heedfulness. Without heedfulness, you cannot deal with life. You are unable to understand life. To understand life, you must be heedful. And to be heedful, there are 2 parts. Dhammapada verse 23 said, the constantly meditative, ever mindful and steadfast one, meaning if one keeps to these 2 practices, one will realize the supreme born-free enlightenment, Nibbana, means assured of enlightenment in the here and the now. As the saying goes, the heedful never dies, whereas the heedless are as if dead. Dhammapada verse 21 also expressed the same. Then he said, heedfulness is the path to the deathless. It means you will have eternal life, you will never die ignorant, hence no more rebirth due to avijja. Imply you will eventually realize arahantship, the 4th stage of sainthood and beyond. So, this part, ever mindful and constantly meditative, means constantly cultivating Noble Eightfold Path, is what heedfulness is. When you combine these 2, you are heedful amid life. You must be heedful, not only when you are in a retreat, in formal meditation, but also while in the midst of life. Not only your daily mindfulness sati must be very stable, but you must also have clear comprehension as well. That's the reason why it is mentioned in the teaching. Your sati sampajana, mindfulness and clear comprehension must be very stable. 3.3.1.7 Avijja Sutta. In the Avijja Sutta, it is clearly stated that this sati sampajana is step 5 of the 10 steps leading to enlightenment. The Buddha mentioned this in the Avijja Sutta. You can go to our website at brotherteo.com and check. It is all there. There are 10 steps for you to follow to develop the cultivation so that you can realize enlightenment in the here and the now. And the first 3 steps, all Kalyanamitas will have. What is the first step? Yes, to have noble friends or Kalyanamita, spiritual Dharma friends. If you are part of our Kalyanamitas, how can you not have Dharma friends? You surely have a lot, and there are 2 types of Kalyanamitas. One is just ordinary or normal Dharma friends who walk the path of Dharma to cultivate and progress along the path of Dharma. The other one is Dharma friends who have Dharma, and that one is more difficult to find. As mentioned by Sister Ingbi just now, these noble friends who have the Dharma, they can really guide and teach you. They can show you the way. So, this first step to having Dharma friends is very important. All Kalyanamitas will have this attribute. Then the second step also you all will have. Why? Because if you have Kalyanamitas, you will know when there are Dharma sessions or classes. Like our case, we have our Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday weekly classes, right? Then when we have Dharma talks in the temple and other places, you all will be notified. So having the opportune time to constantly listen to the true Dharma is step 2, and this listening to the true Dharma is very important step, because from this step 2, you get to develop step 3 and step 4. What is step 3? Should be very easy, isn't it? After you have listened to the true Dharma, what will happen to you? No. Your practice, of course, you will carry on separately. But when you listen to the true Dharma, what do you develop? Yes, first and second turnings wisdom, leading to faith in the Buddha and his teachings. First turning wisdom is Sutta Maya Panya, wisdom born of hearing the Sutta, discourses of the Buddha. So if you keep listening to the true Buddha, Dharma, you will continuously straighten your views, right? That's how you develop Sutta Maya Panya. Then if you are still not so sure of the teaching, what must you do? The Buddha say, you must reflect, contemplate, and inquire into them. Like, why did the Buddha say all this? Like the First Noble Truth's 8 realities, you should go through them one by one. Why did the Buddha say birth is suffering? Old age, sickness, and death are also suffering. How can I understand them? I need to reflect, contemplate, and investigate it to see whether it stands up to investigation or not. This is the second turning wisdom, termed Citta Maya Panya. But most of us nowadays tend to associate birth with joy, looking forward to being a grandparent or to being a daddy or mommy, then looking forward to the full moon day. You only think of the good things, but you never think of the problematic things arising when there are complications during the birth process. Not all birth processes are smooth sailing. There can be complications. Sometimes the complication can be very dramatic. If the complication is such that the doctor comes out and asks you which one you want to save, the mother or the child, I can tell you, such a test is not easy to pass. Of course, you can request the doctor to save both. But the doctor will tell you, I will try my best, but you must decide. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. Especially so when the birth is an unusual birth, they call it breech, where the leg comes out first, not the head. When there is a complication, they must do something. But nowadays, they can have cesarean birth. They can cut open the womb and take it out. But if it's choked inside there for too long, not enough oxygen, and the mother doesn't have enough strength or energy to push, it can die inside. That's why the doctor must act fast, and they will do whatever they can. So, when there is complication, only do we understand why birth is suffering. Then we can contemplate and reflect further. The moment there is birth, what follows? Old age, sickness, and death, right? So the Buddha is correct. Birth is truly suffering. Birth is not what you think. If you don't have the wisdom to accept the reality of the moment, then suffering will arise because birth, old age, sickness, and death, all these are First Noble Truth realities, common to all humanity. If you live long enough, you must confront them, and whether you suffer or you don't suffer depends on your wisdom, your Dharma understanding, to understand all this. That's why the 5 daily contemplations of the Buddha are very important. The Buddha said, you must reflect and contemplate that this body of mine is of the nature to grow old, get sick, and die, for it has not gone beyond old age, sickness, and death, for it goes the way of nature, and it is non-self, dependent, originating, condition arising, not a permanent, unchanging entity. Hence, not me, and I must not cling on to it via saying, this is me, this is I, and all this can be mine. If I attach and cling to this body, what happens? I will worry about it getting old, sick, and dying, and I will suffer because I believe this is me, this is the ego and personality. But instead, this one is just a vehicle and tool, karmically conditioned out for you to come to this existential world to use. So use it wisely and not be deluded by it. This body is only elements, has got no knowing, and it goes the way of nature. So how can it be you? And moreover, these elements are always in a state of flux, dependent, originating, and condition arising. following the nature's conditions. Similarly, you can see how these 5 aggregates of form and mind, the human being, with its life force animating you into a human being, is also dependent originating, hence not a permanent unchanging entity. With awareness-based meditation, you will see and understand all this in the meditation. That's how the Buddha's mind freed. Remember, the Buddha saw the 4 signs and he left the palace in search for enlightenment, to seek answers to the problems of old age, sickness, and death. The 4th sign is a holy man, a samana. That is why he chose to go the spiritual way, to meditate. When he meditates and realizes this law of dependent origination, the paticca samuppada, he realized the form and mind is not a permanent, unchanging entity, hence not him, and his problem is gone and no more. Birth, old age, sickness, and death have got nothing to do with him. It pertains to the form and mind, the human being. With this wisdom, he went into cessation and realized Nibbana and his true nature within. That is how he frees. So this is the understanding that can unfold. 3.3.1.8 The 3 turnings of wisdom and Uniso Manasikara. When you listen to the true Dharma, you will develop a lot of contemplative wisdom via constant contemplation, reflection, and investigation. When it stands up to investigation, your faith becomes very strong. Faith in the Buddha and his teachings is step 3. Listening to the true Dharma can bring about the 1st and 2nd turning wisdom. With this 1st and 2nd turning wisdom cultivated, your understanding will start to stabilize, and you become very confident. You can assimilate all these understandings into your nature. That is how Uniso Manasikara, the initial wisdom, born of 1st and 2nd turnings wisdom, of Suttamaya Panya and Chittamaya Panya, come to be. When this wisdom stabilizes, you will have this Uniso Manasikara, initial wisdom. Then the next time when you fall sick, get old and about to die, that understanding will surface to let you understand that this form and mind is impermanent, dependent originating, and condition arising, hence not a permanent unchanging entity. Not you, non-self and empty. This understanding straight away will free you because you clearly understand that this body is not me. It goes the way of nature. It will grow old, get sick and die. So let it be. When conditions are like that, things will be like that. Just accept that reality and you will be free. 3.3.1.9 5 daily contemplations. That is why the first 3 of the 5 daily contemplation that the Buddha said, this body of mine is of the nature to grow old, get sick and die, for it has not gone beyond old age, sickness and death, is very important, and every day you must reflect and contemplate upon them. The 4th contemplation is separation from your loved ones and prized possessions. Separation will occur because these are all dependent originating entities or phenomena. Dependent on the conditions, they arise. When the conditions cease to be, they cease to be. That's why they will separate from you one day. Even when you are still around, you may think you own them, but when your breath stops, your identity will be erased, and you still will be separated from them. Separation from loved ones, your prized possessions, and the things that you hold on to dearly will happen, because this is a reality which you can't escape. When it happens, you have the Dharma, you can accept what happens, because all these are dependent originating and conditions arising entities within the phenomena world of consciousness. They are just phenomena arising and passing away, following nature's law, and they have the universal characteristics of impermanence leading to suffering, i.e., when you attach and cling on to them, you suffer, because they are impermanent. hence empty and non-self, not what you think. All these understandings will surface, and this wisdom will free your mind. This is how you develop clear, penetrative understanding. Then every time you see something, this wisdom will surface. He is just the way he is. The world is the world. When conditions are like that, things will be like that. It will not stir your mind anymore. Even if he says something very abusive, very hurtful and difficult for most people to endure, with your understanding, you can still accept him for what he is, and you can still have compassion and love towards him. Like Jesus saying, "Forgive him, for he knows not what he is doing," because he is what he is. Deluded people do deluded things. Angry people say angry things. Abusive people say abusive things. They are just the way they are. And if I have this understanding, born of Uniso Manasikara, I can come to terms with reality. I can accept him as he is. Then I am at peace. But I still must act. It doesn't mean that I don't act and let him do what he likes. If I can apply the Noble Eightfold Path understanding with the right views, then I don't get angry. I don't stir my mind or react to what happened. Then he will not become violent. If you can say, "I'm sorry, if I have caused you any misunderstanding, I really would like to apologize," the whole scenario will be different, right? Instead, if you try to justify and argue with him, you can get into big trouble. So why not develop the right speech and the right action to resolve it amicably via saying, if I had caused you any misunderstanding or harm, I would like to sincerely apologize. I am sorry and thank you for your kind understanding. The moment you start to apologize, he will also tone down and say, "Don't worry, small matter. I am also at fault," and the matter gets resolved amicably. Otherwise, if you hit his ego, he is going to be more and more angry, because chances are he doesn't have Dharma understanding. You don't expect him to be like an angel, ever ready to forgive you. So these are part and parcel of how one can apply the teachings. The Buddha said, after you have listened to the true Dharma, you can reflect and contemplate to develop the first and second turnings wisdom. Then you put it to test, and if it stands up to investigation, step 3 of Avijja Sutta, which is faith in the Buddha, and his teachings will be established. Then step 4 is when you have the initial wisdom, Uniso Manasikara. When you have Uniso Manasikara, do you know what will happen to you? You become less reactive amidst life because of this initial wisdom. After that, you will not heedlessly stir or react to sense experience like before. That is how you develop more equanimity. You will have more understanding to be more at peace with whatever arises within your mind. That is how you can have more and more moments of silence, more and more awareness, leading to more and more space between thoughts. That is how your daily mindfulness can be stabilized. Without Uniso Manasikara, the Buddha says, step 5, which is Sati Sampanjana, cannot happen. You need to have spiritual faculties to develop the step 5 meditative mind, Sati Sampanjana. And this meditative mind needs to realize the wisdom, the initial wisdom born of listening to the true Dharma and the contemplative reflection on the Dharma. This initial wisdom is Uniso Manasikara, and when this wisdom stabilizes, step 5 is established. Then step 6 and 7 will follow. Do you know what step 6 is? Step 6 is sense restraint. When your initial wisdom develops, your Sati Sampanjana, daily mindfulness with clear comprehension, becomes stable. Then you can see your defilements, your evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. You can see them all. What constitutes evil will also be understood. Then you can follow the advice of the Buddha to avoid all evil, do good, and purify the mind. How does one avoid all evils? Keep the precepts. How does one keep the precepts? By reciting and cultivating. I undertake the training rules to abstain from all this killing and causing harm to fellow living beings, lying, committing sexual misconduct, etc. Clearly seeing the danger of breaking precepts while contemplating who will kill, who will harm. Violent people, angry people, deluded people, and selfish people with all the three evil roots. You can see your subtle craving, subtle desire, subtle ego manifesting, while wanting to be right, wanting to argue. So all these, you will start to see them. 3.3.1.10 Three evil roots and meaning of Anusaya, Asava, and Kilesa. Kilesa are normal defilements. Anusaya are negative habitual tendencies, i.e., defilements that have become habitual. These movements from your Anusaya inside can be very latent, always wanting to erupt. These are Asava, very strong defilements, which are very latent and very active inside. Have you all heard of these Pali words, Kilesa, Asava, and Anusaya? All these come about because during your daily life, you don't have daily mindfulness. You are not heedful, you are heedless, and heedlessness gives rise to all these mental hindrances that make your behavior so negative and habitual. These develop into habitual tendencies which can be very latent. When it becomes very latent inside, it is like asava hidden inside, waiting for conditions to arise, to erupt and shoot out. Eckhart Tolle calls it the pain body, meaning emotional negativity. When nobody disturbs you, it is dormant and not active. But when people step on your tail or toe, that pain body is triggered off. That is why we call it the pain body, or in Pali we call it asava, very strong defilements. All these are very active and latent, said the Buddha. So without daily mindfulness and initial wisdom developed, you cannot deal with sense experiences having such defilements. At every moment of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, tactile and thought process, you cannot cope or handle because they move so fast. It is like they all arise simultaneously. When you come out to live life, you must act, you must see, you must make decisions, and everything moves so fast. And if you don't have mindfulness, you cannot be at the moment of seeing, hearing, smell, taste and tactile consciousness to understand what is going on. You have no time to think. Moreover, thinking will not help you understand. What you need is wisdom and understanding. That is why this initial wisdom is spontaneous. It will come out and prompt you to develop the understanding spontaneously, thereby enabling you to act with understanding, following the Dharma way. You no longer act with delusion and ignorance via memories. You will act with Noble Eightfold Path. You will have right view to accept the reality of the moment. Then your mind cannot stir. There is clarity of mind. Then you know what your options are and how to resolve issues or things amicably. You will also know how to give rise to the right speech, right thought, right action, and you will live your life according to the right livelihood. But before that, you must constantly train your mind while diligently cultivating the four right efforts to abandon the wrong thoughts, wrong speeches, and wrong actions that have arisen. Then later, when your initial wisdom stabilizes, you can give rise to the second effort to prevent them from arising. When you can prevent them from arising, it means you already have sense restraint, which is step 6 of the Avijja Sutta. You will come to know these are wrong thoughts that condition your evil roots to make you evil, thereby causing you suffering. Then straight away the wrong thoughts will subside because of your wisdom born of initial wisdom. When you can have sense restraint, it means your precepts will be in order by then. You will not make mistakes anymore. That is why Buddha said, after this step 6, step 7 will arise. And what is step 7? It is 3 ways of right conduct. You will have this ability to act correctly, and these right speeches, right actions, and right thoughts will always be with you. That is why these first 7 steps of the Avijja Sutta are very powerful. 3.3.1.11 Sotapanna, Sakadagami, and 4 foundations of mindfulness. The Buddha said, if you have finished these first 7 steps, you are at least a Sotapanna, if not a Sakadagami, because after step 7 is step 8. Step 8 is the cultivation of the 4 foundations of mindfulness. And do you know what these 4 foundations of mindfulness cultivation are all about? It always starts with what? Yes, after overcoming consciousness and grief, then only you can start to cultivate the 4 foundations of mindfulness. So, without step 6 and 7 cultivated, do you think you can overcome consciousness or grief and grief? If you can't even have self-restraint, you cannot have the 3 ways of right conduct, then how can you overcome consciousness and grief? No way. That is why after that, only you can go into the 4 foundations of mindfulness cultivation. And after you have the first 7 steps cultivated, the 4 foundations of mindfulness cultivation will be very easy. It's like you just breeze through because the following trainings are already there. The initial wisdom, daily mindfulness, and clear comprehension are all so stable already. That is why all the words that the Buddha mentioned under the 4 foundations of mindfulness cultivation, I understand. And I know that those things are not according to what most books try to explain to you through their commentaries. Nothing to do with all those thought-based noting, training, and doings. It is the awareness that is aware. In Kaya Nupassana, Vedana Nupassana, Chitta Nupassana, and Dhamma Nupassana, the Buddha always said, mindfulness of the body in the body internally and externally. Do you know what these are? Internally means within your own kaya, the 4 postures with all the movements and activities. Sati Sampanjana, the daily mindfulness, you can be aware internally. You can see all these activities. That's why Kaya Nupassana is to train your mindfulness to stabilize it. Then after that, when you can be mindful within, you can also be mindful of outside or externally. That is why at that time nobody taught me. I also hadn't heard of all these types of sutta at that time. But somehow I can see my awareness, especially my specific phenomena awareness. It is always with all the phenomenon that moves. Then I saw one Chao Kway Teow fried noodles guy, and I was amazed like I was inside him doing the Chao Kway Teow. All his actions and movements are like my mind, and awareness is inside him doing all those things. That is externally. Then feeling also same. You can feel and sense people's feeling inside. You can sense their contents of consciousness. They have become one.
Outside. You can feel and sense people's feeling outside.
You can feel and sense people's feeling outside. You can sense their contents of consciousness. They have become one. All these are possible because your sensitivity of mindfulness, your wisdom and your understanding are there. Then you can also feel nature, the energy within nature, and the great being's nature, you can also feel them. You can draw from them, and people who are cultivating, they draw from your nature, and you can know they are around. Their nature is everywhere. That is why this great being's nature, they are ever radiating for the cultivators of the way. When you start to cultivate the 4 foundations of mindfulness, that is step 8 of the Avijja Sutta. The Buddha says, during step 8, you will start to experience the 7 factors of enlightenment. They keep on arising when you have done it correctly, in accordance with what he taught you, meaning you are on the right path. 3.3.1.12 Dhammanupassana. When it comes to Dhammanupassana, there are 5 categories of practices. The first category is mindfulness of the 5 mental hindrances of mind. And this mindfulness of the 5 mental hindrances you will clear very fast because your daily mindfulness is already there. Then you can understand why the Buddha says there are 5 ways to overcome unwholesome thoughts like the 5 mental hindrances. The first is to think of the direct opposite wholesome thought, which is still thought-based. That one you can skip. The second one is to think of the consequences and the danger of allowing this unwholesome thought to continue, because this is a wrong thought, an unwholesome thought with evil roots. It will make you evil, so you must decide to abandon them. The third way is the meditative way, the one where one just silence one's mind and maintain awareness within. When there is restlessness, sensual desires, sloth and torpor, ill will and doubt in your mind, no need to do anything. Just silence your mind and be with it. The Buddha gave the analogy of the pool of water. Can you remember? He asked Ananda to collect the water for him. Initially, the first 2 times, water was milky. Why? Because the bullock cart passed by, stirred the water, hence was not fit for drinking. But at night he went again, the water was cleared. He took the water back with joy, and the Buddha asked him what he had learned. The Buddha later explained to Ananda, when the bullock cart did not go across and let it settle out long enough, what will happen? The sediments all settle down, so clear water can be collected. Your mind is the same. Its original state is stillness, tranquility, and awareness. Therefore, all these so-called anger, hatred, emotions, sankhara activities, feelings, perceptions, consciousness, etc. are not intrinsic because they are dependent, originating mental phenomena. Meditate to find out. When you see something, why did you get angry, become emotional, restless, or let your sensual desire arise? Can you just silence your mind and stay with it, and then find out what happens? The mind will settle down because these are dependent originating mind states. It needs conditions for it to continue to be angry or continue to be lustful or agitated. But because you silence your mind and don't do anything, just let the awareness be. Then what happens? When the supporting conditions are no longer there, they will all settle down and cease. Initially, the sankhara will start to slow down. The emotions, etc., all will slow down and disperse then you will realize the true mind again, thereby realizing the original mind, the silent mind, the awareness nature within. Then you realize there is peace, there is tranquility, there is stillness, there is no more agitation, no more stress. Then you come to understand, like what the Buddha said in the sutta, you will come to know how the unarisen sensual desire or ill will comes to be. That is, through one of your senses, because before you get angry, there was no anger, right? Then how did you get angry? When people say something you don't like, or you recall and see something that makes you unhappy, your mind stirs. So it is through one of your senses. That is why you will come to know how the unreason mental hindrance comes to be. Then when you meditate via the third way and the fourth way to trace the origination factors and then retrospectively reverse it, you will develop the understanding to understand how these arisen mental hindrances cease to be when you don't do anything except via maintaining just an awareness within. So finally, when you get to know how the unarisen one arises and how the arisen one ceases, it means you know how to free your mind. After you have wisdom and understanding, you can straighten your views. Then you will come to know how in future these mental hindrances will never arise again in you. That is what the Satipatthana Sutta cultivation is all about. That is how you should meditate, not according to what you had read via the commentaries without proper understanding. Meditation must be done with understanding. You just silence your mind and maintain awareness. Then later through daily mindfulness, you develop mindfulness of the 6 internal sense bases and 6 external sense bases. After you have developed the mindfulness of the 5 mental hindrances, you move on to the mindfulness of the 5 grasping aggregates of form and mind, to see all these aggregates of rupa, vedana, sanya, sankara, and vijnana arising and disappearing very clearly. Then you can be at the moment of feeling, at the moment of perception, at the moment of sankara activities, before it starts to concord and move, before it even stirs, reacts, or thinks. It is like slow motion inside there. It cannot move. Your mindfulness and wisdom are so stable, it can just stay there. I can still remember, at the moment of contact, it just stayed there. It didn't move. That is why when they tell you upon contact, feeling arise, don't believe, but investigate it, because only when you release it, the awareness, then feeling arise. Then the content of consciousness went in. If you lack wisdom at the moment of sense experience, feeling will condition craving right away. You cannot cut at feeling. Without wisdom, you cannot cut, you cannot free. You cannot stop that movement from feeling to craving. It is as if it is automatic. That is how I came to realize, without this uniso manasikara wisdom and understanding, you cannot act. You totally cannot act. When you have them, this wisdom just come out and prompt you and straight away frees you. That is how feeling becomes pure feeling. And you can laugh at it. You know it cannot move already. That is why the whole cultivation is so different. This mindfulness of the 5 aggregates of form and mind cultivation, you will also go through. After that, you move on to cultivate mindfulness of the 6 internal and 6 external sense bases. This is the 4th way to meditate, to overcome unwholesome thoughts. This is how you trace the origination factors, how anger comes to be, how fear comes to be, how the restlessness of mind comes to be, how sensual desires, ill will, and doubt come to be. When you stay with it with your pure awareness, it will cease to be. Then you start to understand the Dhamma. You start to understand how this form and mind is like the physics experiment analogy. How upon contact it triggers off consciousness via nature's law. Then the input of the content of consciousness determines your karma via the mental intentions input. All this you will start to see. Then you start to understand. When you understand all this, the next mindfulness training within the Dhammanupassana category of cultivation is cultivation of mindfulness of the 7 factors of enlightenment. This is step 9 of the Avijja Sutta. When you cultivate this, the 7 factors of enlightenment keep on arising. Because by then, you would have finished cultivating Kaya-nupassana, Vedana-nupassana, Chitta-nupassana, then now Dhamma-nupassana. You have come almost the full way. The last one you haven't done is mindfulness of the 3 turnings of the 4 Noble Truths. But before these 3 turnings of the 4 Noble Truths cultivation, you must have reflected and contemplated while constantly listening to the true Dhamma. That implies you have done part of the mindfulness of the 3 turnings of the 4 Noble Truths already. Then, when you cultivate the 4 foundations of mindfulness, it is all about direct seeing with the direct with the silent mind via bhavana, maya, panya. That one is very penetrative. That is the reason why by the time you move into Dhammanupassana, you would have understood all those words and instructions of the Buddha. 3.3.1.13 7 factors of enlightenment. Then the 7 factors of enlightenment keep on arising. Sati, Dhamma Vichaya, Viriya, Piti, Pasati, Samadhi, and Upekkha. All these will arise. Then you know you are on the right path. You know you are destined for enlightenment. That's why step 10 of the Avijja Sutta is enlightenment in the here and now. So this Avijja Sutta has all the needed cultivation components, 10 steps, very clearly highlighted. Do you know what is Avijja? Avijja is ignorance. So the Buddha purposely spoke this sutta, the sutta on ignorance. He starts out with the ignorance cycle, explaining how you fall initially, then how on enlightenment circle you can reverse it. That's why you must go through all these practices and cultivation. The Buddha said, Kalyana Mittaship is 100% of your holy life. This is what he told Ananda. At first Ananda told him, it's only 50% of the holy life. But he said to Ananda, no, Kalyana Mittaship is 100% of your holy life. Because without Kalyana Mittas, I too realize you cannot find this way. All the great beings are your great Kalyana Mittas, especially the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. Without them, you cannot find the way. Without the Sammasambuddhas and the Sasana, it is not easy unless you are a Bodhisattva with the vows. Otherwise, when the Sasana window is no more, you cannot find the way. Only very few, which they call the Pacceka Buddhas, can. And these Pacceka Buddhas also must have cultivated before. Otherwise, they cannot become Pacceka Buddhas. They become Pacceka Buddhas during non-sasana time. So these are the understandings. I will have to finish the 9 consciousness, which I haven't explained. The 8 consciousness arises and passes away every moment. After a sense experience arises, you perceive the 6th consciousness. Then this 7th consciousness, which is the egoic and discriminative mind, will make mental concocting inside. That one is like your internal organ. That organ, upon contact, triggers off the 8 consciousness. And this is alaya consciousness that has all these contents, which have karmic implications. But when you have wisdom, this egoic and discriminative mind is no more. Do you know why? Because Sankhara has become pure aggregate. No more grasping. That is why it is no more egoic, no more discriminative. Then the 8 consciousness become pure consciousness. There is no more greed, hatred, and delusion. That is why the Arahant has no more ignorance. That is why for them no more avijja to condition rebirth consciousness. They will die realizing parinibbana. They will not take rebirth born of ignorance. These 8 consciousness, they call it the alaya consciousness or storehouse consciousness because they want to widen the scope. Indirectly, it is just your karmic consciousness. As far as I understand, there is no such thing as the alaya or 8 consciousness. There is only karmic nature, and everything is recorded in the karmic nature, and that karmic nature is the one that conditions rebirth via karma niyama and decide on your karma. That is the reason why the Buddha said, the moment you are born of your karma, heir to your karma, conditioned and supported by your karma, and you are what you are because of your karma. So when it comes to karma, you must be very careful. You cannot play a fool with it because the moment you are born, it follows you, i.e., you are heir to everything that karmic nature had accumulated. This is the reason why if you don't take care of karma, karma can never take care of your life because your life depends almost entirely on karma, and you are born of it, heir to it, conditioned and supported by it, and you are what you are because of the karmic nature. So do take care of the karmic nature. And how does one take care of the karmic nature? Cultivate the 10 steps of Avijja Sutta, or at least until step 5. When you hit step 5, step 6 and 7 are automatic or is a natural consequence. Step 6 is self-restraint. It means your precepts are well kept already, and your karmic nature is well taken care of. Then step 7 is the 3 ways of right conduct. It means you are on the rightful path already. The right view leading to right thought, right speech, right action, and right livelihood will be there. And coupled with your 4 right efforts, which you have cultivated earlier, it can help you develop step 7. Otherwise, you cannot have the 3 ways of right conduct. So all these are linked, and the whole teachings are also linked. Then the last one that the Buddha taught is the 9 consciousness. This one is very easy to understand. What is it? When you go through Nibbana, this 9 consciousness is by right not a consciousness, but they call it consciousness because they don't have a clear understanding. They sometimes call it your true nature, your Buddha nature, but this is the unconditioned, so it is not a consciousness. The word used is wrong. That is why sometimes people get so impressed by Mahayana, because they say Theravada has only one type of consciousness, but we have 9. Then they will ask you, do you know what is 第六识、第七识、第八识 spoken in Mandarin? They are just the 6 consciousness, 7 consciousness, and 8 consciousness. It is just the same as the 5 aggregates of form and mind explained by me earlier. Nothing more than that. 3.3.1.14 The collapse of the mundane mind. Do you know why I can understand all this? It is because when my mindfulness have become so stable, I saw all these movements inside my mind. I saw them all. When your stability of mindfulness and wisdom are so established, your mind can be at the moment of contact, moment of feeling, and it does not move, and you can investigate it. At that moment, it does not move because there is no more ignorance, and all those craving forces that cause the movements are also no more. That is why it cannot move. Then later, when they become pure aggregates, it's even more amazing. One will inquire, how come inside there it is like no mind, no movement at all, everything is so fine. Then I realized this is the supra-mundane mind. The mundane mind had collapsed. The mundane mind collapsed because the wisdom energy within is so fine and pure. The vibration is so fine. Then this mundane mind, which is too gross to exist, will collapse like a layer of consciousness, just drop off completely. And when it drops off, it is like the sky. Suddenly, all the clouds and everything that obscure the sun ray from penetrating is no more. Then what happens? The sun rays penetrate, right? Our nature is the same. When the mundane mind collapses, I realize this pure nature shines forth. It's like there is no more of this gross mundane mind with images and the Sankara mind states to obscure, i.e. no more of those gross form or rupa thoughts and mental formations, etc. are like completely cleared and gone. What is left is just a very fine supra-mundane mind, which is like no mind. 3.3.1.15 The nature shines forth. When this nature shines forth, that time I felt very different, and my nature was so amazed. How come it is like that? Suddenly I can see everything. Despite nothing have changed, And now everything is so clear. The sati, the nature shines forth. Then it's like no need to cultivate mindfulness or awareness anymore. Because that nature has shined forth, you are fully aware. And this is what Master Hui Nen called the mind that has no dwelling. It doesn't dwell anymore. It is that nature that shines forth. That is why it is very different. When that thing happens, I can still remember. I sat there alone for 3 to 4 days, and I was telling my wife how come it is like that. Truth is everywhere in the midst of life and nature. Why can't you see? For those who see, they always see. Every moment and every instant, the three universal characteristics of nature are there. Everything is so clear. That happened in 1989. Now it is 2019. So how many years ago? 30 years ago, right? Now I only have the chance to explain. Before, people could not understand. But don't worry. Please don't go and look for all this. Your time will come. You can never understand until you have gone through all this cultivation. But for most of you, because the Kalyana Mitta force is very strong, so things can move very fast. And that is the reason why a lot of you all now can understand this sharing of mind much better. In fact, the ability to understand all this is not easy. It means you must have had your past cultivations. You must have your parami, and because of that, this life is not a problem at all. And it is quite easy for you all to develop the requisite understanding. Do listen to the recordings, the videos, the audio recordings, and later with the transcript, you can read them, reflect and contemplate on them. Then you will become beautiful. You should learn to write them down to confirm your understanding. It is going to be very beautiful. Okay, I think we stop our sharing here. Sadhu, sadhu.
This style of Dhamma, where can you find? Your book also never write one. Okay, continue.
3.3.2, the end, closing puja. Okay, so we should end our today's sharing. Let us rejoice one more time. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Then we will end after chanting the closing puja. And 3.3.3, message by a Kalyana Mitta who helped in the transcript. Most grateful to Brother Teo. Yes, the above transcript sharing is truly beautiful. The below quote by Brother Teo is most beautiful. Be mindful and aware all the time. Just don't stir your mind anymore and let things be. Then all the defilements which are non-intrinsic will settle down by itself naturally to reveal the truth. This clarity will reveal the true nature of everything inside and outside, leading to true peace and wisdom within. With Metta always, Brother Beng Lim.
Can understand this or not? Huh? You better learn how to understand it. But this is the way to meditate, understand or not? That's why this person, Beng Lim, oh, not your brother, Beng Phi. Yeah. You know, he's very new, no? He was like you, no? Heard my video, then came to me. Then after not long, he came to the class. Then he volunteered to help out in the transcript. That's why after that he wrote to me. Means he, after doing the transcript, he managed to get word by word. And he loved this phrase. He said, be mindful and aware all the time. Did I tell you that? Throughout the retreat, the meditation, maintain mindfulness, understand? Every movement, every action in the present moment, blinking of the eye, turning, all the instructions already given. And he summarized this very well. In one of the talk, I wrote this. Be mindful and aware all the time. Just don't stir your mind anymore. Can or not? Oh, and be confident. You ayo, because your habitual tendency is still gao. Never mind, the time will come. Huh? And let things be. Joey also cannot. The fly come until like that also never move. So can be done. Then all the defilements which are not intrinsic will settle down by itself naturally to reveal the truth. Means anger, not you. That's why they come, they go. Then when you just aware, don't feed it with any more thought energy, it ceases. Fear also same. Anxiety also same. Restlessness also same. So in order to realize peace, it's very easy. Don't do anything. Understand? But there is the problem. You're very capable. You cannot don't want to do anything. You know what they will complain? Boring lah, don't do anything. Must have things to do. You love to do lah. Like those people need to work lah. Have to work, lagi must work. Unless you have the understanding, you become like what normal people do. Then this clarity will reveal the true nature of everything inside and outside, leading to what? True peace and wisdom within. And this one actually comes from the Zen analogy, which is good. The Zen analogy got an analogy. Remember earlier on we read in the Heart Sutta book, it's assumed that your hotel have a host. There are 6 rooms where the guests come and go. Who are the guests? The sense data. Your room are your sense bases. Understand or not? And you think the guests come, normally they stay, short game also 2 hours. Understand or not? Or sometimes half day, sometimes 1 day, sometimes more. But these sense data, split second gone already. Understand? And they're not like the guests of the hotel can complain or don't have internet, don't have light, pillow not clean. You can complain no. The defilement don't complain no. Come in, come out, stir. So he said, if you are the host of the hotel, what you do? What do you do? If you get upset because of all the defilement, means the guests that come in complain to you, you cannot manage it. But this sense data come in, they don't complain or no. So how? You let them be lah, understand or? What is let them be? The fly lah, understand or? But don't be so naive. Like the bee that sting, Yun Chan. I want to sting lah. I do dana. That is delusion, understand or? I always advise Kayamita, avoid the condition, understand or? Avoid the condition means take care of your karma, understand or? Then with your wisdom, when you can sense, you can avoid a lot of things. But otherwise, like I say, karmic consciousness you cannot avoid. You look at Yun Chan, she also cannot avoid. She can only after that say what? I shall wear thicker glove. You cannot blame her. Your karmic consciousness is like that. You cannot escape one. Cannot run one. Well, I saw a lot of this. Then sometimes outside and other people, I saw the condition coming in. What is it? Time over. Oh, almost already. 9:30 already. Ayo, sorry. Extra 5 minutes. Okay. Oh, carry on. I say, what about the rest? So no need chanting. I'll just share merit straight away. Okay lah, 5 more minutes. Appendix tomorrow. So now you want me to continue on what? I already give you example. Don't be so gullible. Don't quote me and simply apply. Let things be. The bee come. Want to do anything? Give. Then the robber come. I open the door. Understand? Oh, you want the car? Key here. Understand? There is a story, actually a real one, not story. This my physics teacher actually. In the early day, he know I very good. Finally, he came down and learned from me. He was observing me and talking to me 3 to 6 months. He got one question, he did not answer. Until he be tahan, he asked. Yeah, I bought a new car. The one at home, Toyota like this. Not Toyota like this, Toyota Altis. That was 20 years ago. That car 20 years, still running very well. Very good car. So what happened? That time new car, and the car very popular. A lot of people want to steal. Until insurance also don't want to cover you. Then he saw I buy a lock and lock the brake and the accelerator. You know what he asked me? Finally, after 6 months, he said, "Tio, you don't mind? This question very long already. I cannot understand." He said, "I observe. You still lock your door. Your parliament is so good. Why you still lock your door?" I was laughing inside. Then I tell you, okay, you listen. If you think your parliament is so good, then not only don't lock. On your engine, don't take out the key. Don't off it. Keep the door open and leave it there. See, got people take or not? You think it's in Saudi? Saudi, where my daughter is there, Dubai. You really put your car engine there with the key running, nobody steal. Because the law is very, very strict. And you know what happened? The temperature there outside can be 45, 50. That's why they keep the engine running. And there, my daughter is back, she will know. In Dubai, the temperature afternoon very hot. People run their car engine with the key, they leave it there. Nobody steal one. Well, the law there is very... chop hand on. You there or not? You dare to steal or not? We all here call hudud. So because of that, nobody steal. But don't do it in Malaysia. Understand? Then he laughed. Oh, now I understand. I said, avoid the condition made out of love and compassion for the so-called guy or snatch thief or the car theft. Out of love and compassion for him, so I make it more difficult for him to steal. Understand? Then if he saw another autist, no lock, nothing, which he will go to? He will sure go to the other one. Understand? Unless they are professional, they want the new one. How you lock also no use. Understand? Like your house, if the robber want to break in, how you lock also no use. So you have to understand. So sometimes don't be too like scared until you got, you know what they say? They secure the door with $8,000 door. Special lock, everything. But the window at the side is no glass window. You understand? Which means you don't understand security. If your door is so solid, you think they want to break your door. They will go through somewhere else. Understand? And if they want to rob you or kidnap you, they plan on. Your karmic conditioning like that, you cannot run on. Yeah. So instead of doing all this, you just do, not to say open your door and don't do anything. That is the other extreme of foolishness. Understand? Whatever your nature is, I ask you one question. Since the distant past until now, you think you always enlightened mind. You make so much mistake, so much karmic negativity. And the law of karma is what? The second and sixth determining moment, thought moment, that trigger of that coming, eternal one, don't go off. That's why Arahan also cannot go to death. You understand? Because this is karmic. Angulimala, Arahan also bitten until like that. The other one got psychic one. Who is he? Mongalana. He for 6 times, he know people want, he saw them, he used his psychic disappear. Then after the 6th time, just like what I say, I saw the sign, and I keep on coming, meant to be. Then he want to check. Why like that? Or then check. There was one life in the past. He murdered her own parents. They were blind, and they trusted him. And the wife participated together in Mongala. But that time he's not Mongala, please. He's just a lay person. So what they do is they shouted out and say, robber, robber, quickly run, run, run. Then instead they become the robber and clobber the parent and kill them. That's why he kena this type of karma. And it's in the Jataka story. So you cannot play a fool with karma. When the conditioning karma, whether you arahant or no arahant, calm means calm. Understand? So please, don't be a hero. Understand? So and now, okay. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we share merits. Akasata cha bhumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakantu loka sasana ketawata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sapasampati siddhya idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo devo asatu kalena sasa sampati hetu cha Vito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavata. Excuse me. Today is more cold. Put on more warm clothing. Sa imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu do. Okay, can pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy one. Okay, then we end. Thank you.